Good evening and welcome to Thai PBS World. Tonight we keep you updated with the latest situation in Hong Kong. After 2 days of chaos at the Hong Kong International Airport, things seem to have returned to normal today. But there still have been some pockets of demonstration on the island. But there have been no reports of confrontation or violence to date. And the Hong Kong airport has been reopened and operations there have resumed with all inbound and outbound flights operating as normal. Khun Natha Kobonwatin and our news team are among the first group of Thai people and Hong Kongers who took the early flight from Bangkok to Hong Kong. They were the first group of passengers from Thailand to arrive in Hong Kong after the airport was reopened. Khun Natha, good evening. How are you?
Yes, I'm fine. And it's the first flight after the flight were cancelled 2 days ago. People were on board, more than 350 were on board, safe and sound. And it seems to me that people are quite serious in getting back to Hong Kong. So when the flight has resumed with normal operation and it's on time, people must be relieved to be welcomed back to Chek Lap Kong International Airport with normal situation. As far as I could see is a group of police officers grouping around, scattering in the area of departure gates. Because 2 nights ago, it was the chaotic situation. Violence happened between protesters and the police officer. But finally, the situation has been back to normal. But we still see a group of police officers scattering around, walking around. But we can take photos, we can interview people. And I could say that it's nearly back to normal. And we can see injunction by the court that any protester coming into grouping or trying to protest, the law has immediate law enforcement. It means it's illegal for protesters to be at the airport to gather and to voice their concern. And I also interviewed some tourists and a Hong Konger on the situation. And the tourist from New Zealand, he seems quite understand the attitude and the objective of the protester. How do you see the situation?
Difficult for us to say, being from other country, but I can understand I can understand the situation here in a sort of a way, and I guess the protesters are all doing what they want to do. But we're so far away, it's probably not fair to comment on it, quite honestly. Okay.
I see the policeman is using appropriate violence to the protesters in the airport, because I always notice about the situation in the airport, and I think the protester is using a very peaceful way to voice out for their stand, and I think the police are really not doing their job properly this time.
Did you join the protest at all? It's been nearly 11 weeks already.
Yes, I've joined the protest in the past weeks, but since some policemen is using their violence is too over, and I think it's too dangerous, so I stopped for period of time, and I just came back to Hong Kong in Tuesday, so I didn't join the protest in this week.
It's nearly 3 months of the protest, and this week, the end of this week, will be entering into 11th week of the protest. So we have to see how strong or how they can still gain the momentum, because one of the criticism against the protester is it's now leaderless and they have no plan, and they just don't have central leadership among the protesters, and it's uncontrollable, and that's quite taking Hong Kong into quite risky situation. I am now standing at Tsim Sha Tsui area, Khun Thep Chai. It's shopping area, very popular area in the weekend. And in the past 10 weeks, group of reporters would be here and voice their concern. And it tends to have clash between protesters and police officer, and the use of tear gas happened nearly every weekend. So this weekend, especially on Saturday and Sunday, we have to see what's going to happen, because they have already planned to have another big protest, big meeting among protesters, Khun Thep Chai.
Okay, thank you very much, Khun Natha, for your sum up of the current situation in Hong Kong. And that's it for Thai PBS World Tonight.